Okay. Opening statement. You know, I think a lot of questions sometimes are always arise about what are we going to do when we have tough scoring nights. And again, we see another night where Kalia Mays had a huge game for us. Taeler Deer had a huge game for us. They aren't our traditional scorers. They aren't the young women generally at the top of the scoring board. Erin Peoples obviously has got nagging injury. Ariel had a difficult time scoring. People are finding a way to shut Megan down. They're not going to give that type of a shooter easy looks. So people always ask, where are you going to get it from? I was like, well, I always have confidence in any one of these young women being able to score. It's what we do. It's something I know they can do. So I think one of the things that Taeler's always known from the beginning of recruiting her, is that I know this young woman can score. The question is, are you going to play defense? And so it's always going to come back to defense for us. If you take a look at it, these girls did awesome defensively. To take a look at what we did in the second half to this type of an offensive team, I'm really proud of the defensive effort. And it was the defensive effort tonight that won the basketball game for us. And that's really what my takeaway is as we continue forward. In addition to that, I think that you found that both teams hustled hard, and we were both just struggling for those 50-50s. That was fun to watch because both teams were giving full effort, and our women weren't backing down. Nobody was letting go of the ball till the officials had to get in there, and that's important. I think that's important that they understood that. And as we continue to move forward, it's these are the teams right now that we need to be able to truly be able to compete with, be smart, and put away. Because that's going to show a bit of our character as to who we are as we continue forward.
Coach, 23 points off turnovers, forced them into 21. Do you think your team is at their best when they're forcing turnovers and running in transition?
I think it's exciting for anyone when you're being able to do that, to be honest with you. You know, I'm going to put that back on the scouting report. I think Coach Sue did a good job. Coach Manning gave input, and the decision to mix it up on them was really important. The team understood that we're going to mix it up, and so by being able to mix it up defensively, it allowed these young women that opportunity. In addition to that, their energy level was pretty high. And the excitement was there, and they clearly understand. We talked about being able to attack on both ends, offensively and defensively, and I'm proud that they understood that. And once they saw it, I think they continued along that path.
Ericka, just talking about your first start, when you got the call, how you felt, and then going into the game.
I felt excited because I wanted to bring some energy to the floor, and I wanted to get this win tonight, so I'm happy.
Taeler, when you're scoring like 23 points on 12 shots and you're just making everything, you know, you're finding people and you're doing everything that you do, what does it feel to have a performance like that when just everything is going your way?
It's what I love to do, and have my teammates back me up makes me more confident.
Coach, I think you won 5 out of your last 6 games. I remember last game you kind of won in all different ways. Offense, you know, you said last game you kind of escaped. This today was kind of a defensive performance. What does it show about your team's ability to win in multiple situations?
I always go back to the team. This team just finds a way, and our staff does a good job of recognizing that. We're pretty scout heavy as a staff, and then we just try to place these young women in position to score. So as they continue to trust us and understand that we're working hard on the scouting report for them, if they put forth the effort, they're generally going to come out victorious. And that's really what I see. And for me, as our team evolves, if we're able to be a team that's difficult to scout, that only is going to help us long term as long as I'm able to manage our roster well.
Having pair freshmen in the rotation, what does that mean going forward and for like the future of the program as well? I know you have freshmen that already played. Sam,
I ain't thinking the future. My next game is Lafayette, and that's it. Okay, the closest thing you get me to talk about is the fact that we're working towards a championship, but I'm not even in that moment right now, because I'll go back to this particular freshman class with these 2 young women. Clearly, I understood we had young women that can score. Now, this young woman here to my left I knew was a great defender, and that's why she started tonight, and that's what we saw from her tonight. And that's what she brings, which is a little bit different. You know, the woman to my right, I always knew the kid can score. She can score in buckets. It was just a matter of time of her understanding what else we needed from her to be able to step up. So is that exciting? Yes, but it's exciting for me against Lafayette. Especially, I think those of y'all that were here at the game last year clearly understood it was even chippier than this game that we just played just now. It's going to be a highly intense game. I'm going to look for maximum effort, and these 2 are just going to have to jump in the fire to see what that's going to be like for them. But that game, forget about Lafayette's record. I just think it's just going to be another just tough game where it's going to be a very physical game, and the officials are going to have to work.
You're at the halfway point of the conference schedule. You know, you get a nice little break here for 7 days. What are you going to work on, and What have you been impressed with over the first half of the season from your team?
I think until I take a look at the stats, it'd be tough for me to answer that, though. But the number one thing in the front of my mind is that their bodies need some rest right now. Their bodies need rest. We just started school, so they need the opportunity to kind of get their feet under them before we get rolling again. And then, next thing you know, we're towards the end, the tail end, and I want to make sure that they have good academic footing before we go on the road. And so for me, that's the number one thing that I need to be able to do for them and my staff. My staff has family as well, family and friends, and they need to be able to spend some time with them right now. This break is needed for everyone, so I'm going to give them a little bit of time off, and then we're going to hit the hardwood again. And at that point, I would have had some time to do a little bit more scouting to see. I do like the fact that we've been able to kind of mix it up as to who we start and how we start. I think it's helped us, as you've seen. You've now seen, 3 or 4 different rotations from us, more recently 2. I think that's just greatly helped us. And as we continue, we're going to continue to be pretty scout heavy. I would look to say that could happen, just largely depending on who the scout is and how these young women are performing.
The game was very close for a majority of it. What do you feel helped pull your team away? What do you think they did to pull away?
I think just desire and want to. A game like that, 2 really good teams. We're on our home floor. I just think that's desire and want to. That's what we saw. It's just effort. I mean, they just gave the extra effort. And App gave a lot of effort out there. They gave a lot of effort. They did not make it easy. But we just had, a heart of a lion tonight, and they just found a way. I'm not trying to overinflate App, but I've said from the beginning, Appalachian State is a great team. To me, they're one of the top teams in the conference. On any given night, they could beat anyone, really and truly. They're right at that point. I mean, Sindor didn't play, the second half. You add her in the game, who knows what would have happened. I'd like to think that we still would have won, but it's still been more difficult. But we also had, an injured Erin Peoples who just toughed through it tonight because she knew the team needed her, and we needed another guard in the rotation.
So you've gotten a lot of playing time as of recent. How does it feel to finally get to show what you can do after kind of scanning the opposition for most of the season, now finally getting your chance?
It feels good. Like at the beginning of the season, watching everybody and the flow of the offense and defense, I've grown to see how can I fit in, where can I get my points, and how can I be a better defensive player. So now that I'm playing, I like to show that I can score and play defense, and I want to win. So I play with effort every night.
Coach, do you like to have Taeler come off the bench, or do you see her starting at any time in the near future?
It's all scout dependent right now. I like the position that Taeler's in right now, to be honest with you. I think she's at her best because she is a young woman who loves the game and she likes to watch. She watches a lot of basketball. I think it's only helped her. I think her ability to be able to watch the game and see how it evolves helps. I think it's a little bit different for Ericka right now. I was a little bit nervous starting her defensively because I wasn't sure exactly what would happen with us offensively. But she's had, plenty of time to kind of watch on her own anyway and still play minutes here and there and sometimes finish games, and she's had more opportunities. I think for Taeler and where she is right now, and if you look at our guard matchups and who we play, it makes more sense for her to come off the bench. She makes it difficult because I told her after last game, I was like, you made the scouting report now, and now you're not going to see the coaches going, who's this? Like, they know who she is. But with that being said, I still think it adds another element for our opponent to still have to defend when she comes in the game, because it truly makes a difference. Are we going to go with more of a guard lineup, or are we going to have Jacqueline Jeffcoat and Clea Mays in at the same time where we go big with the power game? I think it really forces people to make decisions because most coaches aren't going to make a starting change, within 10 minutes of the game. A lot of them are going to stick with what they have, and so for us, our ability to be able to scout is really important. And right now, I think Taeler's doing a phenomenal job for us with where she's at. She's playing starter minutes, for goodness sakes, and that's what I say. Ericka Anderson didn't start till this year, continuously start for us till this year, and she's a junior and she's a great player, and so.